All right, so going on to the next story, PS5 pre-orders, sort of. So pre-orders for the PS5 seem to be getting closer, obviously because we are like 3 months away from release. Sony is opening online registrations to possibly receive an invitation to be one of the first to pre-order the console directly from PlayStation through their PlayStation store online, their like super direct store, which I have not tested yet. They are selling certain like control colors and headsets and stuff through that. This is ridiculous. This opens up into a different conversation on we have not got pre-orders, release date, or pre-order pricing for not just the Sony system, but for Microsoft as well. And the fact that they're doing these little circles to dance, like, don't get me wrong, I did the thing where I'm registered with like Best Buy, Target for, first notification when the PS5 and the Xbox Series become available for pre-orders. This was even a dumber version because this one you had to use your PSN gamer tag or something to register.
The ID.
And don't get me wrong, of course I did it because I gotta get me a PS5. But I think it's time that these two guys, someone has to bite the bullet. They're not announcing price. They're not announcing release date. We're obviously getting these systems, I want to say, either the week of November 13th or 17th, if I'm looking at dates correctly.
Yeah, that's the next story we talk about the launch leaks, but that's around where they're saying.
Yeah, true. So I'll save it more for that. Come on, guys, we're 3 months. We're at the end of August. Today's August 30th. We have September, October. So you're really looking at 2.5 months maybe. And I think this is just such a weird way PlayStation is doing this. And again, Xbox is super quiet. I think this is just a weird... What did you think? Because I got excited when I saw this story going around. I put everything down. I punched out for lunch like super early. And I was like, I'm pre-ordering this right now. And then I saw it was register your gamer tag. And I was like, this is ridiculous. What was your reaction to this?
Yeah, so they sent out the link. And yeah, I thought it was the pre-orders going to there. And since it was straight through the PlayStation site, I was like, oh, cool. Maybe they're like dibs. Doing like... Yeah, like first dibs, or if you pre-order through them, they just will make to order. So like everybody who goes through the site, now we know what demand is, and you're guaranteed a thing. You don't have to worry about it. But I went there, and they were like, "All right, you're signed up to. We'll let you know if you get chosen." I'm like, "What is this? The draft? Like, what is going on?" I'm like, and I am petrified at this launch. I haven't been this scared for quite a while. Mm-hmm. The last time I've probably had this amount of anxiety about a new console was probably the Wii, honestly, because there was a lot of scarcity nonsense with that too. And when that came out, I was well aware of that being an issue too, and I wasn't able to get a Wii until way late into the generation, like a year or two. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I've had concerns since they announced this machine, and as it gets closer and closer, I get more and more apprehensive because the information's not coming, which tells me that everything's gonna probably hit very close to launch, which means that pre-orders are going to go up really suddenly, which is really close to launch, and everybody's going to swarm at the same time, and it's going to be a mess, and tons of people are not going to be able to get the machine, and BestBuy.com is going to go down, and Amazon's going to freeze up and not ship for another 3 weeks, just like they did with the Switch. Like, it's going to be a mess. And going straight through PlayStation is what I'd prefer to do, because I don't trust Amazon much anymore with their ability to get things on time. I like the site themselves, but in terms of getting things on time, it's very hit or miss with them. So yeah, I have significant concerns about where I pre-order this machine through and how the whole thing's gonna go. And I mean, I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna, pull up all the tabs with Target and Walmart and Best Buy and hope that I can secure one, but something tells me that might not even be enough, because I feel the demand for the PS5 from what I'm looking at online is a little different. Like, I think people are excited about the Series X. I think people are excited about the PS4 and the Xbox One in some regards. But the PS5 hype right now is a little different from what I'm feeling. Like I feel like obviously the pandemic plays a role and stuff like that, but people are ready for this machine. And I'm not just seeing people like, I'm seeing casuals ask when the pre-orders go up. Like, when do you see that?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, and we're not talking about like somebody walking into a GameStop and being like, hey, I heard this machine was coming out. When's that coming? Not that, passive inquiry. I'm talking about like people are in the comment sections on Twitter, like casual non-gaming accounts being like, hey, when is this machine going up for pre-order? And I'm like, we're competing then. We're competing with the normies here. This is going to be an issue.
Yeah, it's gonna be terrible. I mean, I have a friend who he says it's not a big deal, but I keep telling him he works at Best Buy. I'm like, of course you think it's not a big deal because you're gonna be there before opening and you have your connections to get the pre-order you need to get. But I was like, I'm hoping PlayStation announces the day that pre-orders will go live. I'm not working from home. I'm gonna have to take the day off. I have to take the day off so I can sit here, make sure my computer's plugged in, get the strongest internet connection I can, and try to get a pre-order because my go-to thing is for Amazon, and Amazon has not been able to deliver
they've been slipping
much things for me. They literally just sent me an email this morning because I had pre-ordered Avengers on Amazon to get in the beta, and then I was like, it grew on me, so I was like, yeah, I might get that game. And they just emailed this morning saying, oh yeah, we don't know if we can get it to you by release date. And they
you see what I mean?
And they did the same thing for Tony Hawk Remastered 1 and 2. They just sent me an email as well. They're like, yeah, we don't think we can get it to you the same day, but we'll let you know. I'm like, come on. And it brings me back to Switch days when I'm a crazy person, so I pre-ordered my Switch on Amazon that first day, that morning after when they pre-orders went live. I pre-ordered it. And for some reason I had a gut instinct and I pre-ordered it on GameStop as well. And 2, 3 months, 4 months later, whatever it was to release, Amazon didn't ship anything to me. So luckily I had my GameStop one pre-ordered because Amazon just didn't. They didn't even send me an email. And then you had like big online personalities like saying the same thing like, hey, I don't have a Switch on release day. Like Brian Altano from IGN and Damon Hatfield from IGN, I think they both were like, yeah, we don't have it. And
it took like 3 weeks to get them through Amazon fulfilled completely. 3 weeks.
That's ridiculous. And I know Nintendo and Amazon have always had this weird relationship where they don't want to sell hardware there. I just don't see amongst this. I mean, if Amazon can't get me Avengers, come on, Avengers. Don't get me wrong, we're you and I warmed up to the idea of this game.
But it's not last.
It's not in the demand the way it is, and you're telling me you can't get me that? You can't get me that on release day? And I even think, I'll be honest, I think I even did the deluxe edition because shout out to Wario64 on Twitter. I think it was on sale one time, so I got the super low price. But you can't get me the deluxe edition, so I mean, it worries me, and Amazon just hasn't been there. And not just for video game related things. So it's like, I will pre-order this wherever I have to pre-order this from. I made an account everywhere, and it's just rough that we're still just waiting. We're just sitting and waiting, and it's starting to really get annoying and stressing me out.
Yeah, well, next gen's coming. Target, don't let me down.